Welcome back to JComX, everyone. It's time for another episode of What Am I Playing in 2024? The series where I take a look back at the games that I've been playing this year, which also allows me to bridge the gap between my regular uploads, which require a lot of scripting, editing, and animation. With the successor already announced, this will probably be the Switch's last year as Nintendo's main home console. Consider this something of a JComX recommendation guide for the Nintendo Switch's dying days. And let's get right into it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. As the third best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch, if you have a Nintendo Switch, the odds are that you've either played this game or you own it. Not to mention that this is one of the biggest crossover events in all of video game history. Just the pure fact that in a single fighting game, you can have Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, Solid Snake, Pikachu, Pac-Man, Banjo-Kazooie, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Kazuya, and Mega Man, all beating the absolute shit out of each other to the backdrop of fucking Midgard from Final Fantasy VII. I mean, it almost defies belief. But this is the reality that we find ourselves in, and I am absolutely here for it. I've been playing Super Smash Bros. Since I was a child on the Nintendo 64. The series has introduced me to countless characters, including iconic Nintendo franchises like Link, Samus, Captain Falcon, and Ness. And it just makes me happy that the series is still going and introducing new generations of kids to these iconic characters. With 89 unique playable characters and over 100 stages to play on, the game has almost infinite replay value. And on top of that, it's got a single-player campaign that takes dozens of hours to complete. I only completed the single-player campaign this year, which is why I'm putting it in this video to begin with. But this is a game that me and my friends constantly come back to year after year over and over again. But even just for the fact that they finally put in Banjo and Kazooie, two of my all-time favorite characters from probably my favorite video game franchise of all time, into Super Smash Bros. Brings me immense joy. And I might get blasted in the comments for saying this, but to me, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate feels the best to play out of any of the Smash Bros. Games. Super Smash Bros. Melee, of course, has the longest history in the competitive scene, and for a lot of competitive players, that game is the end-all be-all of Smash Bros. But for a casual fan like me, none of the other Smash Bros. Games feels as good to play as Smash Bros. Ultimate. So now that I've sung its praises, in my opinion, there are two main issues, and other people may not even care about this at all. My first issue is that although the single-player campaign is good and fun, it lacks the oomph that Super Smash Bros. Brawl had with those cutscenes. I get that in World of Light you kind of pick up characters as you please, but part of the fun and charm of Super Smash Bros. Is seeing all of these unique characters interacting with each other, even if none of it is canon. It was so cool in Super Smash Bros. Brawl to see Pikachu and Samus team up, or to see Mario and Link fighting over a misunderstanding, Captain Falcon zooming in to save Olimar from Rob while killing half of his Pikmin, or Wario taking out Ness and laughing menacingly in the rain as Lucas runs away, Diddy Kong and Fox making an absolutely hilarious pair, or one of the only scenes in a video game where the Pokemon trainer can actually legitimately be called a fucking badass. The list goes on, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate unfortunately has basically none of that. There are a few cutscenes in the game, but most of them simply don't have the characters interacting with each other. The vast majority of Super Smash Bros. Fan service comes in the reveal trailers of these characters, which is awesome, but those trailers aren't even included in the game itself. You have to go to YouTube to look it up. And my second issue with this game has to deal with spirits. Now, I actually really like the spirits mechanic. With so many different stages and characters, it's absolutely awesome that you can have thousands of unique themed battles that are based around characters that aren't even in this game. My problem is that when you go to the library of these games and you look at the art, there's absolutely no description of who these characters are or which games they're from. The most you get is which franchise they come from. So while I really love the concept of spirits, it sucks to me that I have to go look up who these characters are rather than just having a little blurb about what this character is and what they do. In the previous Smash games, one of my favorite things to do was to go through the trophies and read about these characters. I realized that it would take a lot of time and manpower to add descriptions for thousands and thousands of spirits, but for me it still kind of stings and keeps this from being an absolutely perfect game. Again, some of you may not even be bothered by that. While it does have its flaws for me, despite its flaws, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a 10 out of 10 game and the definitive Super Smash Bros. Game. The next game that I'm playing in 2024 is Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. When this game was first announced, I immediately wanted to play it. And that is coming from someone who, even though I have a Wii U and I love my Wii U, I did not have the NES Remix, and that's a shame. And I do want to eventually get the NES Remix games because they look great. But I didn't have that and I haven't played it, so this is basically, fills that gap a little bit. I know it's not the same. Some people say it's not as good. Some people say they like it better. I think it's just a personal preference kind of a thing. I'm not going to say if it's better or worse than the NES Remix, but I am having a great time. I will say that I pretty much exclusively have been playing this multiplayer couch co-op with my friends in real life, because this is a multiplayer game, and not all of my friends are playing all of the retro games that I'm playing at the same time, and so I don't want to become super perfected at this game and then exclusively play it with online people. I want to play with my friends, in real life, you know what I mean? And so I pretty much exclusively play this with my friends, and we have a blast playing it. It's fun. Playing all these retro games, it gives you a reason, you get a little taste of the game. It almost makes you want to play the game, but if you're a retro game lover like me, you've probably already played these games a bunch of times, so this gives you an excuse to kind of go back to those games a little bit, but with a new flavor. It's fun, it is addicting. I did dabble into the single player just a little bit, and it is really fun. The gameplay loop is addicting. Trying to one-up your own high score over and over and over again, it's really easy to just jump into the game. But mostly, I've played this multiplayer, and for a multiplayer game, this is awesome. If you and your friends like old Nintendo games or retro gaming at all, then I highly recommend playing this with them. And the one gripe that I have with it is that there's not enough games. It basically has all of the must-have games for it. Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, and even Lost Levels, Kirby, all of that stuff, but I really do wish it had Donkey Kong Jr. and maybe pinball and tennis. Maybe I'm biased because I just did a video on tennis, but it would be cool to have some of those older games, the ones that people don't always remember everything about. And Dr. Mario, where the fuck is Dr. Mario? It's Dr. Mario. That one is probably the most baffling to me, and I don't know why it's not on there. Hopefully Nintendo will release some DLC and we'll get some of those games, but if not, this game is really fun, and my only other hope for the series is that it will become a series. I mean, it's called Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, which makes me wonder if maybe there could be an SNES edition or something like that. That would be really fucking awesome. Some Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario World, F-Zero. There's so many games that you could do with that, and that would just be fantastic. Super Metroid. But yeah, this is a great game. It's really fun. Me and my friends have been playing it, and we've been having a great time. So give it a go. It'll support the series. Show Nintendo that you enjoy it if you're a retro enthusiast like me. Let me know in the comments, actually. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this game. I'm very curious. Have you played it? Are you wanting to pick it up? Is it too pricey? I know the price point is something that it can be a sticking point, but if you buy it on the eShop, it's a downloadable game and it's a lot cheaper than if you buy the full package, although the full package comes with a lot of neat little goodies and treats, but I digress. Next up, we have Pikmin 4. It has been a hot minute since I played a Pikmin game. This is the first Pikmin game, actually, that I've played since Pikmin 2 on the GameCube years back. I think I tried, and I never beat Pikmin 2. I beat Pikmin 1, or at least I completed the first month. I know I didn't do 100% or anything like that. I just completed the month and I'm oh, I completed the game, cool. That was a really fun experience. And then I tried playing Pikmin 2, but I don't think I got very far, and I never actually beat it. So this is my first Pikmin game in a long time. And I have to say, I've been having a great time. This is awesome. My brother also likes Pikmin, and he's actually the one who got me to want to play this game. And he was saying that apparently there's a little bit of drama in regards to the Pikmin series where people are not super into it. It's I guess apparently it's a soft reboot of the series, or, people have had their fill or what have you. And I totally get that. I feel that way with Pokemon a little to some degree, but for someone who hasn't played a lot of Pikmin, and this is kind of my first Pikmin game in years, I'm having a blast. I think the dog, Ochi, whatever his name is, he's freaking adorable. He's very cute. I don't mind that Olimar isn't the main character, just because, I mean, no spoilers or anything, but it's kind of obvious though. Olimar basically is in this game. Like, I mean, it's not confirmed. I haven't beaten the game, so I don't know that Olimar's in this game, but there is a suspicious character who looks a lot like Olimar with red hair, and he's like in the trailer, and he's got Olimar's dog, so I'm pretty sure that's Olimar. So, I mean, he's in the game, and I don't need Olimar to be the main character to enjoy it or anything like that. In fact, I kind of like that he's like this legendary, captain that came to this planet and everything. I don't know. I can see why some people don't like it, because it's like Olimar was, this captain of this broken down ship, and he got all stranded. So he's not supposed to be like this big, guy or whatever. But I think it's cool that he's still here, and, just having him be in the game is cool. I don't think he needs to be the main character necessarily. And it's still Pikmin. I'm having a great time. I love that there's so many different kinds of Pikmin. It's got that weird, creepy, like existential thing that Pikmin kind of has, because they're basically ants, and you're like this tiny little person that's basically on Earth. It's got a weird vibe, but I dig the vibe. It's great. I'm enjoying my time with Pikmin 4. I have not completed it, so the jury is still out on if the game is fantastic all the way through, but from what I'm playing, it's Pikmin. It's awesome. If you like Pikmin, you'll probably like it. I mean, it's not like a hardcore game, but it's enjoyable. I'm quite enjoying myself with it, and it does have some weirdness in it. I don't know. I'm a weird person, so I like weird stuff. Pikmin 4 is great. I definitely think it's at least worth playing if you're a Pikmin fan, and I don't know. Pikmin fans, sound off in the comment. Do you like this game? Have you tried it? If you have, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Let me know down below. And here I am back again. This is just an update. I have played more Pikmin 4 since I recorded that last bit, and while I still haven't completed the game, I'm basically in the post-game now. The game continues to be an absolute banger, and it even made me a little bit emotional at some points. So while I don't think I've actually reached the official ending of the game, I can say that Pikmin 4 I do highly recommend, even just for the amount of time that I have played it. Again, this is a fully priced $60 game, so again, that might turn some of you off. This is not the longest game. But if you're like me and you like these short little quality experiences, then this is a really cute and wonderful time, with a little bit of cosmic horror and existentialism sprinkled in for spice. But overall, I have really been enjoying myself with Pikmin 4.
It's a delicious last course. Oh, the delicious last course. One can eat their fill and still stay until the delicious last course.
And finally, we have our last game on the list, that being Cuphead DLC. That's right, it is not exclusively a Nintendo list, because I play Cuphead on the Xbox. And the reason why is because, although Cuphead has fantastic music, and there is no denying that, my preferred way to play Cuphead, and this may be sacrilegious to some of you out there, but my preferred way of playing Cuphead is to actually turn the music off and turn on a playlist on Spotify of electro swing music, which fits extremely well to Cuphead, and it keeps you from having to hear the same Cuphead songs over and over and over again, and it also just gives it a really cool vibe. I might play a little bit here or there just so you can see what I mean, hopefully get it through the copyright systems. We'll see, because it's copyright music, but just trust me, it's awesome. I totally understand if you are a purist who wants to hear the Cuphead music while you're playing Cuphead, and I totally get that. I'm that way with pretty much every other game, but ever since my buddy Josh Dean, who you may know from the channel, from some of my Friday Night Games episodes, ever since he showed me this way of playing Cuphead, that's like the way that I have to play it. So me and my wife, we love playing Cuphead. It's hard as shit. We both got super into it when it first came out and just banged our heads against the wall repeatedly, endlessly until we beat the game. I couldn't even get enough even at that point, so I had to go back on my own file and get like A ranks on everything. I don't think I got S ranks on everything, but I think I did get at least an A rank on every boss, which was, as you might expect, absolute bullshit. But I did it nonetheless, and I had a great time. I freaking love Cuphead. The art style is fantastic. As an animator myself, I cannot overstate how fantastic this game looks. It's absolutely incredible. Cuphead is one of my favorite indie games ever. I love how hard it is. It's such bullshit. It's a love letter to all of those retro games that if you grew up in the 80s or 90s or even early 2000s, you probably are familiar with some of this absolute f***ing bullshit, but it puts such a beautiful coat of paint over it, and me and my wife just play the shit out of this game. My wife, Lexington, by the way, who has been in some of my videos as well. So this year, we finally did it, and we bought the Cuphead DLC. I know it's not that much, but funds are tight, and you have to pick and choose between which games you want to get. But we finally started it, and we got a little taste. Of course, I haven't beaten it yet because Cuphead is fucking hard. This footage that you're seeing is actually the first time that me and my wife have played the DLC. And of course, it's more of the same. If you like Cuphead, it's awesome. If you don't like Cuphead, then it probably isn't for you. I happen to love Cuphead, and so it's more of the same. It's gonna be hard. I look forward to getting absolutely pissed off and playing this game to some electro swing tunes, and just, it's awesome. And that's gonna do it for today's list. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Nintendo World Championships, NES Edition, Pikmin 4, and Cuphead DLC The Last Course. Those are some of the games that I've been playing in 2024, the Switch's dying year. If you want me to go more in depth into any of these games in this style of video, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these games, and I'll leave it there for now. I'll see you guys next time on Friday Night Games.